Wow. If government and everything evolves to a point, you've got a good friend here. So.
And how long have you been making business with BaseZero?
BaseZero's been incorporated for 11 years. I've been in the industry. Sad to say, I got an email in January of this year from Adobe, and the email said, "Help us celebrate 20 years of Photoshop." And I looked at the startup screen because they showed all the startup screens, and I recognized it from version 1. And I'm like, "Wow, I've been using Photoshop since version 1." So I've been in the industry for a little over 20 years now. I started when I was 5.
And how did you get started?
Yeah.
Sorry.
And how did you get started?
Actually, my dad taught me how to draw my first car, and I just kind of took it from there.
So you're a graphic artist.
It's just been a natural outflowing of the natural talent that I have. But I'll be honest with you, my start in the advertising, marketing, branding arena started with cool office supplies. When I was I was actually working in the warehouse. Was my first job, pushing and bringing, making boxes. Went on the usual customary corporate tour, and I saw that they were just installing actually their first Macintosh machines to start doing desktop publishing in-house, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And the lady that was giving the tour said, well, don't get your hopes up. She said, the only way that you ever get into here is either somebody quits or somebody dies. And nobody's done that recently. It's an interesting way of putting it. But eventually I did, that was my goal, was to get in there, and it took me 2 years, but I did. And here we are today.
And with that, you can tell us all about BaseZero.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right. A couple of quick jokes here for you. Bill and Bob were talking with each other, and they were friends in business. I should probably log in here. And small business. And Bill informed his friend Bob that he had closed up shop. And his friend said, well, he said, why? He said, well, too much marketing and advertising. And his friend said, what do you mean? He said, you? And he said, no. He said, my competition. They say that trying to save money by not marketing and not advertising, I understand we're in dire situations here, with the economy being what it is. They say that trying to save money by marketing, by stopping marketing and advertising, is like trying to save time by stopping your watch. It unfortunately works against you. So, with that, I would like to welcome you to our latest presentation. I'll try not to bump it. It's not too stable. We are BaseZero Productions Incorporated. When you're ready to rock, we'll make you a star. Now, first question that I get, and it's interesting because Mike here is going to be presenting as well. I'm going to walk this way too, Karen, so if you don't mind, I like to be, helps me think. The question that we get right out of the gate is, who is BaseZero? BaseZero, quite simply, is an integrated branding and marketing solutions firm. Now, some of this is going to be kind of new to you guys because you've seen part of this presentation before. But the new thing for us now is that we do marketing solutions. And I know that we've presented that before, but it's more integrated with our company now. We brought on a guru of marketing, social media marketing. I mean, it's just amazing how much this girl knows. Her name's Lauren. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here today because she's on her, she's celebrating her anniversary with her husband. So I gave her the day off. But she is indeed very knowledgeable and very capable when it comes to doing that aspect of what we do. To simplify it, when I say integrated marketing and branding solutions, people say, okay. And Mike said yesterday, he said, you know, when we were discussing this, said, the eyes, do you see the eyes have a tendency to glaze over when you say that? And I said, yes, we do. So I simplified it. Basically what we do is we partner with you, the client, company owner, to develop your brand and then help you get the word out. We're a mouthpiece. We become a mouthpiece for your company, for your product, for your service. We don't make it better than it is. We advertise it to its fullest potential. Okay? First impressions. You have 3 to 7 seconds. In some cases, you have less than that. You have 1.5 to 5 seconds. It depends on the medium. Web is most especially a problem area for a lot of businesses. I can't tell you, and I was explaining again in conversation when we were putting this presentation together. I am highly, even more super critical because of what we do, especially when it comes to any form of media. What I was surprised to find out after doing research on this is that the attention spans of people are becoming shorter and shorter and shorter, and it's because we're being inundated, and the access to media is so much more immediate, and as a result, the attention span has just gone out the window. The unfortunate thing about a first impression, as some of you may or may not know, is that once it's made, it's very difficult, not impossible, but it's very difficult to unmake it. Okay? So, we work hard to make sure that your first impression is a great one. Sorry, I got kind of unprofessional there. It's not, you know, I'm always the taper. Any of the family events, whenever I'm the media guy, I'm never in front of the camera. So.
Well, there's a reason, but go ahead.
Yeah. Don't quit your day job, right? Thanks, Mike.
Welcome.
Okay, and a brand is what? A brand is, your brand is the perceived image of your product or service in the marketplace. Doesn't matter how great you think you are, or how great you may be, it's how other people, your market, sees you. Okay? It should be, it is and it should be the cornerstone of all of your marketing efforts. Your brand should be continuous and consistent through and across all forms of media that you're using to advertise yourself. And then finally, paper to electronic, it is the sum of your company's total identity. So, when it comes to your brand, first things I advise people to do is to look inward. Does your brand convey the image that is in line with your company's direction, values, and mission? And I would also ask, does it properly represent whatever your product or service is to the demographic that you're trying to reach? And then an even more introspective question, you can ask yourself this question, but maybe it wouldn't hurt to get friends, family, colleagues involved. Would you do business with your company based on your current marketing and media plan that you have in place? Okay? Not you as a person. Your friends and family love you. But based on your media. All right. Next thing, and it's real simple. Look outward. What's your competition doing? We are very good. BaseZero is very good at adapting. Okay? Taking not only what you do, who you are, how you present yourself, your product, your service, the demographic that you're trying to reach, but then looking around and seeing what everybody else is doing. We try to get on board with that without doing exactly what they're doing, because you want to stand out from the crowd. And that's where we really shine. We take all of that information, add it to what it is that your competition is doing, and then take it up the next level. Okay? We're all about next level marketing. Anybody recognize these? Of course you will. Why do you recognize these? Is it because they have great products and services? Not necessarily. I can't tell you how many times I've bought stuff at Target and I've taken it back because it was a crappy product. The reason you recognize them is because billions upon billions of dollars are spent yearly to keep those brands top of mind. Top of mind with the average consumer. If I can't even begin to tell you, but I bet you if I told you the next week to count how many times you see Target commercials on every channel at every time of the day, you would be absolutely amazed. Right? Billions of dollars. And it's an ongoing process. Apple Computer came out in 1984. I know that because that's when I graduated high school. You know how old I am. Every day, every week, during this time of the year, almost every day, I get some kind of email ad from Apple. It's not aggressive, it's not, you know, in your face, but it's there. It's just a constant, ongoing reminder. Here we are, and especially during times like these. I'm not trying to grind the economic fiddle, but it's a point of fact. I've had conversations with a number of people, and they all say the same thing. If we don't hear from somebody on a constant basis, we just assume the worst has happened. And now they're even less apt to get in touch with you, especially if they know you and have done business with you before, because they feel sorry for you. And you're still here. They just don't know. Let's go to the process. What we do is a three-phase process. The first phase is the assessment phase. Okay. We do a brand and a marketing checkup. We look at what you're doing. It's very simple. I mean, it's simple for us. We look at what you're doing. We look at your brand. We do some research. We do some questions. We put statistics, gathering code, if we're dealing with a website, in place to measure traffic, to see how people are getting to your site, how they're finding your site, how long they're staying on your site, what pages they're going to, what pages they're staying on more. We're finding out information not only in terms of traffic, but also in terms of what's important to the client. This helps you plan for the future, and especially when it comes to making any changes with regard to your website. Again, we try to assess what the strengths and weaknesses are. Again, this involves a lot of conversation with the business owner. What's their perceived image? What are their goals? What direction do they want to go in the short and the long term? And then we get to the development phase, and this is the part where everybody's like, hey, you guys are graphic designers, and we say, we absolutely are. This is when that happens. This is when we develop. We take all the information that we've gathered, and we apply it creatively now to your brand. We get it to a point where you're happy with it, where it speaks to the demographic that you're trying to reach, and we design all of your media. And then finally, we've got the marketing and implementation phase. This is where all of the PR and the marketing happens. The social media marketing, again, if you're having us do that aspect of it, events planning and management, PR press kits. This is also, I want to add in, where the additional print media, print campaigns and electronic campaigns such as HTML newsletters, HTML coupons, deals, whatever you want to do, this is the ongoing part of this process. We get it into shape, we get it into shape in the position it needs to be, and then we take it and, again, that ongoing process of getting the word out and keeping it out. All right, so since phase 2 is usually what people like to see the most of, we want to see what you've done. We threw in some examples here of just some recent website work that we've done and has gone live, and I apologize it's not bigger. So I'm just going to cycle through some of these. I'm not going to spend too much time on. This is a mattress manufacturer in, I believe it's Oak Grove Village. We actually spent a year developing this website, and I will caution you all, when it comes to websites, and Bill knows this, I see him smiling, websites typically take twice as long as you anticipate because it's an ongoing relationship to get the info from the clients. Tommy's Pizza, that's actually Tommy's Pizza and Sports Bar up here in Libertyville. We're developing their media for their Libertyville and their, I forget the name, Spring Grove location. Very nice people to work with. This website is actually making quite a splash. It is a custom jewelry business. A couple of ladies, again, down, I think, around Orland Park. Does that sound familiar? Orland Park, is that right? Oak Lawn, somewhere down that area, very south of here. Make this custom jewelry, and it's not really expensive jewelry, but it's very creative. It's very cool. They came to me late spring and said we want to do an e-commerce site. They had something set up with Etny, or I forget what the name would be. Esny, thank you. Etsy, and they didn't like the way it was set up, and we've got some new software now that allows us to create the website as well as incorporate the e-commerce into it. And I was a little nervous about it because it's about 250 products. Well, it not only works, it works flawlessly, and it's amazing how simple it was for us on the technical side to set this up. The interesting thing is we've actually been on the forums, letting people know, hey, here, check out this example of the website that we've done with the company that created the software, and we're going to be featured on the company's website for this e-commerce site we put together because it was such an extensive example of that technology. This year, the Material Yard, which is located over on Butterfield, we just redid their entire identity and website. Probably be picking up a marketing and print campaign for them closer in the spring too. And I've just gotten a 2-minute warning, so I'm just going to zip through some of this. Power Platform Fitness. I've talked about this with some of you. This is a device that's been invented for people, not only athletes to work out on, well actually anybody can work out on it, but it's also a therapeutic physical therapy aid. And you'll be seeing more from that. We did a lot of work for them. We did their video, we did their print campaign, we did their website. This is AM Distributors. This is an automotive and home audio distributorship. They distribute all major brands of gear. And just some ideas of the creativity. This is Rainbow Electric, and you can see I captured that page when it was in mid-transition with the slide on the top right. It's usually one picture rather than a marriage of two. So you can see we've got quite a diverse array of clients. I mean, it's not one particular industry or market. And I've had that question asked of me, well, what industries do you guys focus on? Really, it's not about the industry, it's about getting the results in the market that you want to reach. Caterpillar does some work with WCS, which is a athletic conditioning facility down in, we do a lot of work with clients down in Elk Grove, I just realized. Interactive CDs, DVDs, there's just some of the designs that we've done for the external. Of course, we've got all of the operational parts on the side. Why BaseZero? 30 years combined industry experience. We had Michael, it's 31, so I was giving him grief about that last night. Full service, concept to implementation. You don't have to go anywhere else. We can do it all. We can scale up or down. As you see, we've done work for Mitsubishi, we've done work for International, Caterpillar. Now granted, they didn't need us to come in and reinvent their brand. However, I would say that we did redesign, a 5-year course of doing a lot of business with Caterpillar. We redesigned their OEM capabilities brochure and got word from the 7th floor, which from what I understand that's the right hand of God as far as Caterpillar is concerned, is where the CEO lives. He sent a personal email to my constituents, who then forwarded it to me and said, in all of his 35 years at Caterpillar, it was the best representation he'd ever seen of a piece that represented the OEM capabilities group. And we were like, wow, that's great. And then we moved right on because we were pretty busy. We are passionate, and I meant to make passionate bold. We are very passionate about what we do and how we can help you. And we don't rest until the job is done correctly. Referrals. New startups, they need everything, or they need something. Companies with an established, although somewhat dated brand. There's a lot of these companies out there. You'll know these people because you'll go to shake hands with them at a networking event, hand them your business, or you ask them for a business card, and they'll hand it to you with an apology. And they'll say, well, here's our business card. You know what, it's not the greatest, we're working on our logo, we had a designer, but he took all the files and disappeared, we haven't heard from him in 6 months. Have them give us a call. Have them give us a call. I'm not saying that it won't take 6 months to do, because maybe there was a little relational issue there that they didn't understand they need to get the design what they need. We run into that all the time. But there's a lot of companies out there, or websites. Hey, you got a website? Yeah, but don't go to it. You know, I get that all the time. You're all laughing. You know what I'm talking about. Give them my card. Have them give us a call. Companies needing PR or marketing assistance. Now, this is something that's going to be on a little deeper level. You're not going to know this just in a casual conversation. This might even have to be something that, and if you want to talk to me about it later, I can give you little tips and pointers on how to ask people how their marketing and their PR is going. And then companies looking to develop a plan for 2011, everything from the print, video, interactive media campaigns, and then managing it going forward. Like I said, this is going to be a deeper conversation, or people that you know, that you would have that conversation. 3 to 7 seconds to make that impression. Think about it. Count it. Time it on your watch. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. 3 1,000. People have already decided whether or not they're going to do business with you based on how you look. How will you be remembered? BaseZero Productions. When you're ready to run, we'll make you a star. Thank you. Great. Any questions?
So I can say to my husband, going to Mario's to have my hair done is actually a business necessity. 3 seconds.
More than you know.
No.
Especially when you're shaking hands on a daily basis with clients. And that's why I have told Chuck, you would be an exception to this rule, but that's why I've told a number of real estate agents to not put your face on your business card. Any other questions? Anything else? Anything else? Okay. Original equipment manufacturer.
I'll build those the actual original.
Okay, thank you again, everyone. Great job.
Jim, can I make an observation?